All right, and this is well, going in the wrong direction. There we go. All right, here we go. All right, let's break it down player by player. I already told you about the tackle. He's going to gap, hinge, probably using the term 95% of the football world uses. I'll use that, gap, hinge, high wall. All right, the other three, the center, play side guard, play side tackle, they're going to take 3 steps down. If they're not engaged on the third step, they're pushing off with that third step, okay? And they're going to shuffle back. And you can see that's what these squiggly lines are. They're shuffling back. And we do that for 2 reasons. First reason, obviously, is play action. So we want to block down and give these backers and maybe the safeties the illusion that it's a run, okay? So we're going to step down 3 steps if we're not engaged. Now, obviously, if this guy doesn't slant right here, if he doesn't do that, okay, we're going to be on him. This kid's going to get him right here. If he's playing B gap, he's on him. He's going to stay with him and just keep him at the line of scrimmage and let him get penetration if he wants to, as long as that penetration is back over here. Okay, does that make sense to you? All right. You can hit me up at seagle.chip@gmail.com. It was at the beginning of the video and it'll be at the end as well. All right. So if, let's say this kid did, well, let's go to the guard. So the guard takes his 3 steps down, the nose does this, so the center's on him. Well, the guard doesn't have anybody. So he starts shuffling back, looking for leakage. So the first reason we're doing that is to sell the run. Second reason, coming up right here. So they don't run into the pulling guard, or the pulling guard doesn't run into them. We do teach them to get depth, pull and get depth, then pull flat, looking for the end man on the line of scrimmage. All right, now, it may not be the DN. It's very important that you do not teach your kickers on kickouts and on these and on play action, if you're using this pass pro, to kick the DN. Don't use that term, because what's going to happen if that DN comes right here, and you're going to see on one of the videos in a few minutes where that happens. He comes here and this guy comes here. Well, you got nobody on this guy because this kid here is blocking this guy that squeezed. And you'll see my tackle ended up getting him because he was in a 4 and he sliced in, slanted inside, and he got him. And my guard is thinking, I got DN, I got DN, I got DN. You know, and you got to stress it's end man on the line of scrimmage, which can change. He said, well, coach, the end is the end man. No, he's not. He is pre-snap. But by the time the guard gets there, he's gone. He is slanted inside. So he's no longer the end man on the line of scrimmage. This is something I picked up years ago from zone guys, believe it or not, listening to a talk on outside zone where they talk about the gaps moving. You know, a gap moves. If it's outside zone right, as the line is moving, all right, as the line is moving, so is the A gap, so is the B gap, so is the C gap. Well, the picture changes post-snap. So that's very important, okay? We can talk more about that one-on-one if you want to. Like I said, I'm hip to it. Somebody said football and I came running. And if we're going to talk ball, I'm there for you, dog. So he's going to pull, get depth, and then get flat and look for this end. If the end disappears inside and the tackle gets him, then that means if somebody goes in, somebody's coming out. Okay. You know, that old saying, you know, when something disappears, something else reappears. When God closes a door, he opens a window, or vice versa. Same thing. This guy goes inside, somebody's coming outside, or their defensive coordinator needs his brain examined. So that's what he's got to look for. All right. Now, if he just squeezes the down block by the tackle, you see the red line right there. Okay, we're going to log him. Now, the quarterback, when he makes his fake, is eyeballing that end. If the end squeezes, then he'll do this. You'll see that on the video. If the end runs upfield, after he makes his fake, he'll drop back and the pocket sets up right in here. Okay? And there it is, completed. And you can see why I broke it down slide by slide, because all those lines can get confusing. I know it confuses me. So I got the dotted line right here telling you the quarterback can roll out, or he can set up back in here, usually about the B gap, sometimes as tight as the play side guard. And I need to move this. There you go. Okay, we good? All right, now I blew this up on the new huddle where you can zoom in on it. And then the thing that I used to capture video, I got real tight on it. And it's going to be short clips because I just want to show you the protection. Because the truth is, on the passing concepts, the route concepts, you can go back later and look at those, because I mean, it's just a diagram and you can look at those later. But to me, you don't have a pass play if you don't have protection, y'all. All right, so here's what we're going to get. We're going to do, this is to the left. He's going to block down for 3. That's the tackle. Guard's going to block down for 3 steps if they're not engaged. Center's going to block back, and he doesn't really do a good job, I don't believe. He's going to block back for 3. This kid right here, the tackle, is going to gap, hinge, and then high wall. And then, of course, this guard is going to pull for depth, find the DN or whoever's coming up the field, and either kick him or log him, depending on what he's doing. Okay? I know I say okay too much, but you can tell I teach teenage boys how to play football. All right, there's your fake right there. And by the way, he can insert on the edge, or he can insert in the B gap right there if a linebacker is blitzing. To be honest with you, we don't get many blitzing linebackers because we run play action on on running downs. Okay, and that's one of the great things about play action. Excuse me. One of the great things about play action is it's supposed to be a rundown. You shouldn't run play action on 3rd long, and I know that may sound obvious, but one thing I've learned over the years is you can't understate the obvious. You just can't, or you're going to be wondering what the crap. You got to talk about that stuff. All right, a good job depth by my right guard there. And people ask me, why do you use so much gap scheme? Look at the size of that right guard. Now, this was the year we were runner-up in the state, and the next year, and this kid's like a 10th grader, his junior year, we won it all. So he got depth, so he's good. And you say, why get that depth? Because he can always come back in here and log him if he squeezes, okay? So but he's not getting too much depth where he can't log him. If that's the case, he needs to do it on. Okay? Good job. All right, here's another one. This one's coming this way. And you'll see sometimes the quarterback sets up inside. Sometimes he continues and rolls. If he's getting pressure, he'll keep rolling. I got some where he got pressure right off the bat. Once teams figure out, hey, we're going to pass anytime, they'll blitz you anytime. See, he pulled flat, and when he saw this guy coming upfield, he got his depth. And let's look here at the down. Let's look at the right tackle's down block. 1, 2, 3. Boom. He's engaged, so he stays with him, and he just stays with him. We didn't stay with him very well, did he? All right, here's one to the left. This is the one I was telling you about. Watch. This is what happens when you tell your pulling guard he's got the defensive end. Here's the defensive end, but watch. Defensive end comes inside the tackle. The tackle gets him. Okay, they're running an odd front. He's in a 4 or 4-eye, and he slants inside, and the tackle gets him. The pulling guard, pull flat, get depth if needed right there. And you get a linebacker coming. I believe it's a linebacker. It may be this nose from the inside. I can't remember. No, it's a linebacker. Right there. See? Number 50. So who becomes you say, well, Coach, that's the defensive end. That's the M-loss. That's the end man on the line of scrimmage. Yes, it is right now. All right, watch this. Who's the end man on the line of scrimmage now? Post snap. Don't block a man that's already being blocked. Okay? Don't block a man that's already being blocked. So the guard, once he saw that DN inside of his tackle, he should have kept going and picked this guy up right here. He's going to him. He realized he messed up. Oh, that's the same kid a while ago that made that great play, that great block on the previous clip. Okay, now here we go again. This one's coming up toward the camera. The quarterback's got to know who he's throwing to. He's got to know what his reads are. He's got to know what his triggers are. And here's why. This kind of protection can break down. And part of the reason why, and I'll tell you, this year, we didn't rep it enough, in my opinion. And later in subsequent years, we got better at it because we repped it more. Usually, Friday night mistakes are not always on the kids. And that's one thing I've learned over the years too is, I don't reprimand much on Friday nights because the film can make you out to be a liar if you do. And I have found that a lot of times what the kids aren't good at on Friday night is because the coach wasn't good at it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, I know we've got some coaches that are going to be watching this that aren't high school coaches or on Saturday morning or whenever you play. The mistakes a lot of times come back on us. Okay, I don't know if you can see me in the right-hand corner where I am on mine, but I'm pointing at Chip. A lot of the times it's on us. See, that guy comes through late, and we didn't stay with our block, okay? But you've got to spend time working this. If you're going to use this play action protection, you need to have a period during the week where you're working it and getting good reps. Here's one more. That left tackle, this is an old film, the right tackle, Big 63. He's my O-line coach now. He went on and played at Jacksonville State. He did a good job shutting off B-gap, but he didn't flip his hips. And that's probably one of the reasons why I changed that rule from gap hinge to gap flip, is things like this to remind them, give them a trigger word. Anytime you give a trigger word, air quotes, word in their rule, that's a good thing. And so that's why I changed the rule, the wording of the rule from gap hinge, realizing that I had to give a semantics lesson to a bunch of teenage boys, or I could just change the wording of the rule to gap flip. Hello? And they know, say, hey, flip your hips, dude. So boom, their rule is gap flip. They got it. If y'all hadn't figured it out yet, I'm an old O-line guy. I can talk O-line play all day long. And this one's a full slide, and I didn't go over full slide. Go to my YouTube channel, Football Talk with Coach Chip, and I've got recently I posted one on full slide protection, and we use it when we have a dude at running back who we feel like can block a DN. I'm not crazy about full slide unless I've got a dude. I mean, a kid that I trust. And this one was a pretty good one. He was about 180, 185, which is pretty good size for a 2A running back. He went on to play at University of North Alabama and at Alabama State. He used his COVID year at Alabama State in Montgomery. And that's a good protection. And at this year right here, we didn't pull guards on our play action. And the reason why is because of this kid right here. Okay, he didn't make a block that time, but trust me, he could block a DN.